Ever feel disgusted after skipping one shower? Queen Isabella of Castile went 8 months without bathing as a power move. And trust me, she wasn't the filthiest royal you'll meet today. 1600s England, Windsor Castle's glittering ballrooms. Sugar has just arrived from distant colonies, worth more than gold itself. Only monarch can afford this crystalline treasure. That will become their deadly obsession. Enter Queen Elizabeth I, England's virgin queen, with a not-so-virgin appetite for sweetness. Every morning, sugared violet petals. Between meals, candied ginger chunks. Dessert, pure sugar paste, called marchpane. Her addiction was legendary, but here's where luxury water becomes a nightmare. By 40, her teeth turned brown. By 50, where they were black as coal. By 60, most had simply fallen out. Foreign ambassadors literally couldn't stand within 10 feet of her because the stench was overwhelming. Paul Hensner, a German visitor, in 1597, wrote that her breath smelled like a rotting horse carcass in summer heat. Yet the most insane part? Court ladies saw those decaying black teeth and thought, that's what wealth looks like. They began painting their own teeth black with soot and honey charcoal mixtures, accelerating their dental destruction. But what you don't know yet is why those heavy perfumes weren't just for elegance. They were essential for covering up far worse odors. Those perfumes were masking something far more horrifying than bad breath. We need to discuss what medieval queens did during that time of the month. Royal women handled their periods using filthy rags, the same cloths reused month after month, year after year. But here's the part that'll make your stomach turn. They cleaned these menstrual cloths in stale urine. Chamber pot contents were left to ferment until they turned into ammonia, then used as medieval detergent. These piss-soaked rags were dried and placed against the most intimate parts of their bodies. A German princess's diary from 1456 describes court gatherings when multiple ladies were menstruating. The great hall filled with such stench that the Duke ordered all windows opened, despite winter frost. But wait, it gets worse. Some tried alternatives, like sphagnum moss, stuffed into cloth pouches. The same moss, used for months, growing bacteria, never properly sanitized. Medieval medicine taught that bathing during periods could kill women by blocking natural flow. So for 1 week monthly, these queens layered additional filth onto already unwashed bodies. And speaking of unwashed bodies, every single royal had permanent roommates crawling through their hair. Because what's worse than period rags washed in urine? The armies of parasites that called royal scalps home. Those parasites living on royal scalps were just the beginning. When these queens fell sick, the cures were more deadly than any disease. Suffering from headaches, royal physicians prescribed fresh bird droppings smeared across your forehead, not dried, not processed, but warm, steaming bird shit held against the skin. For hours, skin problems, bathe the infected area in virgin boy urine, collected fresh each morning. Yes, royal households actually employed young boys whose only job was providing medicinal piss. But here's where medieval medicine becomes pure insanity. Queen Catherine of Aragon desperately wanted a male heir. The treatment? She had to squat over pots of burning goat feces, letting toxic smoke waft into her most intimate areas. This caused severe chemical burns that left permanent scarring. For fertility issues, physicians inserted suppositories made from crocodile dung mixed with honey. actual reptile feces pushed inside the royal body. When Queen Jane Seymour went into labor, physicians came straight from examining corpses to deliver the future king. No hand washing, no cleaning instruments. She died 11 days later from infection, literally killed by dirty fingers introducing bacteria during childbirth. But royal vanity treatments were even more lethal than medical procedures. Queen Elizabeth's makeup routine was slowly poisoning her to death. That poisonous makeup was just personal horror. But where did these toxic, unwashed royals gather to socialize? The Palace of Versailles, Europe's most luxurious and most revolting space during grand celebrations with thousands of guests. Aristocratic ladies would relieve themselves in stairwell behind golden curtains, even in corners of the Queen's own chambers. Human feces was discovered behind royal tapestries left by duchesses who couldn't reach chamber pots. In time, a Russian ambassador wrote, he could smell Versailles from a mile away, a nauseating cocktail of thousands of unwashed bodies, rotting food scraps, and human waste, masked with desperate perfume applications. But here's the ultimate horror story. Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess of Hungary, murdered over 600 young women and bathed in their blood, believing it preserved youth. Picture the reality. Coagulated blood, turning brown within minutes, attracting swarms of flies, rotting in heated chambers, while servants scraped clotted gore off her body with special tools. The final truth? These weren't desperate circumstances. Royal women had access to clean water, fresh clothing, armies of servants. They chose filth over hygiene, superstition over sanitation, deadly fashion over basic health. The golden age of royalty was actually the age of gold, covering rot,